Did you know that I have a course called Women Who Lead that will change everything about how you interact with humans? You'll learn how to make things safe, logical, fun, and memorable so that people will listen to you and love you a little bit more than they already do. All you have to do is go to www.aimwithus.com and click on courses, and it will take you to everything you need to know. I hope to see you there.
Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christie, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy, the recap. I am having a blast, right? I just need you to know that I am having so much fun. And this is a great release for me because my son and future daughter-in-law are getting married in 2 weeks. How is it even possible that I'm old enough to have children getting married and buying houses? And oh my goodness. And my husband and I are just super excited for Jackson and Cassidy. So shout out to you guys. You've got 2 weeks left. And I'm pretty sure that we're going to be doing all the things in the next 2 weeks. So fun. Okay, so I had a great cast of characters this week. So I started with Dr. Patrick Farran, and he was awesome. He's lots of things. He's an executive coach, though, essentially. And I loved everything about my conversation with him. And then I transitioned to Shannon Miller-Lutz. It looks like Lutz, but it's Letz. Anyway, I had both of them. They were both fantastic. So let's start with Patrick. Patrick talked about lots of things, but I'm zeroing in on one particular thing because I think this is the takeaway that I took from our conversation. He talked about the power of co-creation in the workplace, and he said it's the IKEA effect, that research has shown that if somebody puts together a piece of cheap IKEA furniture, they will take better care of it than if they buy an expensive piece of furniture that they didn't build, because we have vested interest in that piece of furniture that we put our blood, sweat, tears, and curse words into. And I think there is something powerful for all of the leaders listening, that's all of you, about co-creation. So when I talk about my definition of fun, I say that we have to leverage people's personalities for the greater good. And the reason that I say that is twofold. One, if we don't know what our people are good at, we often have them doing things that are not in their wheelhouse or are not their calling. And I also say the second part, giving to the greater good, because when we have something bigger than ourselves, we're less likely to get stuck or bicker or just feel meh. And so those two things together are that co-creation, giving the people that you have been put in charge of, whether that's in your home or your workplace or both, giving them the power to be a part of the solution is so important. And when we think about our Gen Zers, our kiddos that are, I think it's 18 to 27 or 8, something like that. When we think about those kids that are not kids, they're young adults. Well, they're adults. When we think about that generation, they really want to be part of the solution. They don't want to be told, hey, I need 3 reports on my desk by tomorrow. They want to know what the end game is, and then they want to come up with their own solution. They might still have 3 reports in your desk by tomorrow, but they really want to be able to breathe into how they go about solving that problem. So that's my big takeaway from Patrick. And then Shannon was just a light and a life. She was lovely. And she also is a coach and a speaker and a trainer, and she stops dysfunction, which I think is something worth remembering. But she said a phrase that I want to camp out on for a second, is what would people say about you? Like if they were asked, oh, tell us about Christie, what would they say? And are you writing that narrative, or are you letting that narrative be written for you? I think frequently we get stuck in the space of, oh, that's just the way I've always been, or that's the way I'm gonna be, instead of recognizing that we're rewriting our narrative all the time. And we either are doing it by design or by default. What do I mean by that? It's one of my favorite phrases. Shout out to Denise Wren, who was my boss for a while at a company I work for. And she would frequently say, are we doing that by design or by default? Did we mean to do it or did it happen accidentally? How many things in our lives do we do by default and they just happen instead of by design and really thinking about what is it that I want to get out of this? What's the end game? And then how do I reverse engineer that? So both of these humans are coaches who walk people through the reverse engineering, the how do I get the results that I really wanted versus the results that I keep getting, because the results that I keep getting, I'm getting because of default, not because of design. So the more I do this, the more invigorated I get at the idea that we are all growing, we are all changing, we all are all getting better. That's a mouthful. And yet we lose sight of it sometimes because we get stuck in the stuff. So how can you get unstuck in the stuff? What can you do today, this day, to get unstuck? Maybe you are by default thinking that something that's happening at work can only happen that one way. What would happen if you rethought it? What would happen if you took the time to say, I don't like this result. I want to get a different result. What can I do to make that happen? Or what would happen if you took a moment to plan ahead instead of react to a project that you have going or a new idea? I know these sound like really simple things, but I've said it many times and I'll say it many more times. Simple doesn't mean easy. We know what we should do, we just don't always do it. So I believe that the knowing doing gap is a chasm. It is a giant hole, and we can't continue to know what we should do and not do it and expect different results. So today, my challenge to you is to jump the knowing doing gap. If you know that you should take better care of yourself, but you're not doing anything to do so, I'm going to challenge you to jump the gap. If you know that you should treat your employees differently than you are right now and you're not doing something about it, I'm going to challenge you to jump the gap. If you know that you have a whole lot more to give in the workspace, but you're just not going to do it because of XYZ, I'm going to encourage you to jump the gap. Now, that can be really scary. So just know that you don't have to jump it alone. I'm happy to jump. I will hold your hand the entire way across that chasm. I think there are a lot of people on this earth, Patrick and Shannon included, who could coach you through the jumping of the gap. The hardest part is that first step. So, what are you going to do today, this week, this month to jump the gap? Is it that you're going to call somebody and say, hey, I need you to do this with me? We got to sign up for a 5K and I'm going to need you to hold me accountable. Or is it that you're going to try something new at work and surround yourself with people who won't judge you, but will instead support you in that? Is it that you're going to learn a new instrument or try a new food or what? I don't know what it is, but the knowing doing gap is real and you don't have to jump it alone. How would you get in touch with me if you wanted to, because you wanted me to jump the gap with you? Well, there are lots of ways. You could email me at Christie, Christie, at aimwithus.com. You could also look me up on any of the socials. Just look up Productive Joy and you'll find me on LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. And you can just say, hey, I am really interested in knowing more about you or having you help me figure out this new thing, whatever this new thing is, because that's my absolute joy in life. That's what I call productive joy, is when I can walk with someone through something hard and get them to the other side safely. So I'm hopeful that you enjoyed this week, and I'm hopeful that you enjoyed today, and I'm hopeful that you're sharing it with your friends, because if you're not, then who is going to ever know that this even exists? So do me that favor, share it with all the humans you know, and tell them, hey, you need a little more productive joy in your life too. And today, just like always, I'm going to ask you to do something that might be hard, but that's okay. You can do it. It's still simple. And that's figure out a way to turn fun into action.